So hello to our friends from the Netherlands, to Jurjan and Simone. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to see you.
How is the lockdown in the Netherlands?
Well, they officially call it an intelligent lockdown. So it's not so strict as in the UK.
Okay.
So what they say is take your responsibility.
Yeah.
Also try to do as less as possible. So go outside for the supermarket, try to work from home. Schools are closed. Try not to use the public transport, stuff like that.
So what has changed for your family?
For like the small family, I think not so much even, because Simone and I are still working like away on our work, so we are not forced to work from home. Therefore, because we kind of both work in healthcare, Lois and Marcus are still allowed to go to a nursery. So that's like more through the week, but in the weekends we were more used to visit friends and also our parents every now and then. So that's a little bit difficult.
Simone, tell us about your work and what you're doing to support people at the moment.
I'm working as a psychologist with young people. So I think most of them are teenagers, and they're okay with it. They're still allowed to visit me, and otherwise we are talking on the phone. And the funny thing is, I think most of them actually like the situation for what it is now. But maybe it's also because they're quite lucky and happy. They have a garden, they have, enough space, and the families are not too big, and maybe there's not too much tension between them. So maybe I'm only seeing the happy ones, but they're still okay with it.
Okay. Jurjan, tell us about what you're doing at the moment.
Currently I'm working most of the time as a clinician. I'm a resident in pulmonology, so I'm seeing actually a lot of coronavirus patients. But actually, another important thing that I've been busy with the last couple of weeks is starting on a drug trial for coronavirus. It's something I've been working on for quite some time already as a researcher. It's a drug that attenuates the lung damage during inflammation, and we think that it might have a beneficial effect for patients who are admitted to hospital with coronavirus. So we're actually treating patients with this drug to see whether it indeed has a beneficial effect. So that's something that I've been working on for the last couple of two weeks to initiate this study, and that's like continuing now, like more on its that's just continuing. It's rolling, the train is rolling, and we're trying to test the drug in as many patients as possible.
Yeah, that's really exciting to hear, and we'll definitely want to pray with you about that for the Lord's wisdom. How are you finding it spiritually this period?
Well, it's quite hard without a service on a Sunday, just to meet the community and just to be together, sing songs together. We have the online services, but it doesn't really replace the normal services. Maybe also because we have the toddlers here, so then it's not easy to to join the service. but I think even without them, it's not fully replacing the gathering. Yeah, you need to be together with your community, and that's something we miss now.
Yeah,
and I
we're
think
looking forward to it.
at least for us, the biggest or the hardest time was with Easter morning and not to come together. At least for me, because I found it quite difficult, because that's a time of great joy and to celebrate together. And I think, really one of the most glorious moments of the year in church, and not to be able to celebrate that together, I think it was quite difficult.
Yeah.
But,
and apparently you are tuning into 2 different online services on a Sunday. Which are they?
Well, one of them is our own church. But the other one is that we are very happy to join the St. Helens service. So we thought about it. It's actually a good thing of the whole situation.
Yeah, Simone discovered it
2 weeks ago,
only a couple of weeks after the lockdown started in the UK. So we're at it actually quite from the beginning. So, and we are enjoying it a lot to be back in St. Helens in this way. So.
Oh, thank you guys. How what's God been teaching you, or teaching your church, that you've been in touch with people on the phone and on the internet, I'm sure. What do you feel? What's God saying to you guys at the moment?
So yeah, there are actually 2 things I found quite striking in the sermons that we've been hearing. Actually, the first was with the first Sunday of after lockdown, that we were not able to come together, and then pastor was preaching about Psalm 131. It's like it's about the child that's it's, I don't know exactly how to translate it in English. The child that just stopped getting breastfeeding was getting back to his mother again. So and that actually the message of the pastor was that, like, we've been fed in a very wealthy way throughout all the years by being able to come to church, and we've been fed very well by the Lord in this way. And now the big question is, how can we deal without like the superfluous food that we've had in the past? Can we stand without those very good services, and are we able to stand in the Lord in that way? And so that was the one. And the other one which struck me also was that that was with Easter, that I think he was just mentioning the difficulties that we experience in not getting together. And then he was comparing it to the church in China and North Korea, Sri Lanka. And he said, like, those people, it's actually more their day-to-day life as Christians that they cannot get together. And now we are experiencing a couple of weeks of a hard time, and maybe it should bring us, maybe it should make us a little bit humble when comparing us to the Christian in the church that is oppressed. So that was another thing.
Wow. Thank you.
Point of learning.
How can we pray for you?
Well, I think the challenge now is to still look after each other for us as a community. And I think what we're used to is that most of it was on the Sunday. So then after service, you're meeting each other and you're chatting together. And now it's a challenge to look after each other without the service on a Sunday. So I think actually it could be a good point to discover that now, that how can we look after each other during the week. So I think for all of us, it's something to learn now.
That's great. We
And
will
I
pray
and more
for ourselves
personally,
as well as for you. Sorry, say again, Simone.
yeah, I think more personally is well the point Jurjan was making about well the good food we've had. It's a challenge now to live with God but without the church. So kind of on your own, and I find it quite challenging because well, it's not easy just in your daily life to have your own moments, to be quiet, to listen to God, and the service was a special place and moment to do that. And now, you know, you have to find it in your your normal week, kind of.
Yeah. So we must pray for you, and I say pray for us all in that. Anything unexpectedly good happening during this season for you guys or for the Netherlands?
Well, what's quite funny is we have a kind of a playing area behind our garden, and that's kind of locked, so the children are safe over there. And now because the schools are closed and everybody is working from home, well, we meet our neighbors much more than we were used to. So safely from a distance, but we're talking together and kind of living together. You're just meeting so much more. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a lovely thing that's happening here as well. People are we're just being careful, but at the same time people are stopping and talking to each other, which is really lovely.
Yeah,
and delightfully not how London normally is, but it is at the moment, which is great.
Normally everybody's busy with his own life, and so have more time for each other. That's a good thing, I think.